often we find ourselves stuck in a cycle or a pattern of thinking. We largely tend to describe it or categorize it as positive or negative thinking, productive or unproductive thinking, rational or irrational thinking. However you want to box it, whatever you want to call it, we often find ourselves indulging in thoughts that don't really help. It's very strange, especially when we are aware and when we try not to think in that direction. Somehow, these thoughts find a crack somewhere to creep in and disturb the homeostasis, disturb the peace, result in negative emotions, unhealthy emotions, or difficult emotions. The other thing about this kind of thinking that we tend to struggle with is that they're so intrusive. You're doing something perfectly fine, you're sometimes doing things that you actually enjoy so much. You're fully in the moment with your kids or with your work, and suddenly there will be a thought which is irrational, unproductive, ineffective, and thereby leads to difficult, challenging emotions and thus the actions. So, what are we going to do about a situation like this? I have a tool for you to be able to battle this cycle. I've called the tool R.A.R.E, as in R-A-R-E, largely for you to be able to remember it easily. The R stands for recognizing or observing or reading or noticing the thought, the irrationality in your thought. So if you've opened your eyes early in the morning with something that's bothering you, you just need to take a breath in and first recognize that you're getting into that pattern of thinking something that doesn't work for you. So that recognition is very important of that irrationality or incidents that happened in the past, something that worries you about the future, an action that was done to you, something that you feel should have been done and wasn't done. So just recognition of that thought cycle beginning is extremely important. The next one is A, which stands for accept. It's okay for us to have these moments. It's okay for us to slip into these cycles, even though we are aware they are not functional, they are not productive. One of the things that we often start to do is almost immediately we will label, we will chide ourselves, we will judge ourselves, thereby shaming ourselves. And that is something that is very important for us to change. Once we've recognized, then you will come to accept or agree that yes, this is something that has started. We need to normalize thought errors. When you start to beat yourself about that thought, you're still leading to a negative emotion, and we're not really being able to change the resulting neurotransmitters, neurochemicals, and the hormones in your system. The next step is for us to create a resolve to want to change it. The way you're going to do this is also in the form of self-dialogue, that this is something I'd like to change. This is a thought pattern I don't want to dwell into, I don't want to slip into. Resolve is very important for us to be able to make that vision, to be able to create a goal, and then it gets easier when we know this is not where I want to go and I want to go elsewhere, and where is that elsewhere. And the last alphabet is E, which stands for exercise or take action. Once we have resolved to adapt, we need to start focusing and investing in it so that you can start working towards it. You'll often observe that after this point in exercising the tool, you might be able to, through this self-dialogue, taking action, bring yourself to the moment, in the present. I've just woken up. This is what I need to do now. This is what I would like to do. This is what I would prefer to do. So this will automatically lead you into more productive actions. This is a tool that I have personally used for myself, and I continue to do that, so I can swear by it. Do try it out and write back to me on any of the social media platforms and let me know if this worked. When you find yourself down the path of dysfunctional thinking, that there is a tool called rare, and I am going to practice it over and over again, persistently, until I can break this chain, create the change that I want, and achieve my goal.